Okay, on this Financial Freedom Friday, we want to briefly go over the 5 stages of financial freedom, right? Hello, I'm Chris. Thanks for tuning in where faith, family, and finance all come together. So let's get to it. Stage one, survival. Survival is where we live paycheck to paycheck, right? Feel like we're in the pressure cooker. Feel like we tons of stress on our shoulders, right? But starting small does not mean staying small. So once we are aware of it, once we can identify it, once we can see it, we can take steps to move up out of there, right? Okay, so stage two. Stage two is where you have more stability, right? Bills are more manageable, right? Less panic, less stress, better place to be in, and peace starts appearing before wealth appears, right? Peace is a form of wealth, in my opinion. Stage three, structure. It's where you have structure. So you have your budgeting, right? You have your investing, you have your retirement, and you have your systems. Howsoever you go about working your system to get to where you better off financially, right? So that's a good place to be in. And so structure separate earners from wealth builders. And I've had several content I've dropped about structure, right? Okay, so stage four, where we have growth. Compounding begins, right? Your asset starts growing. You start having start having a zero behind the number of assets you have, like 10 or 20 or 30, or you graduate up to where you have 2 zeros behind that first number of assets. And that's where you really begin to see your compounding, right? You really begin to see growth, right? So patience finally becomes visible. I can finally see some light at the end of the tunnel, at the end of the rainbow, right? And then we have stage five, we have freedom. Freedom is where you have options. You have options on top of options. You have choices, right? You have flexibility, right? You can choose how you want to move, where you want to move, when you want to move, right? And then you have giving, where you're able to be a blessing to someone else, right? And that peace begins to become more and more unlimited, right? You have a greater flow of peace in your life. It's a pretty good place to be. So next, I want to touch bases on how all of that affects me and where I'm at, right? So that will be part two. Be wise, walk in wisdom, my friend.